yesterday, Super Bowl took place, and there was excitement about it. You had Kendrick Lamar performing at halftime. Of course, you had the Eagles playing the Chiefs. I called it. Congratulations on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, that amazing defense winning the Super Bowl. Then you had John Baptiste singing the national anthem. You had, of course, Lettucey singing the national anthem. And folk are always whining and complaining. And so here's my boy, Armstrong Williams. Armstrong, we cool. You know we get along. But you knew I was going to hit your ass after you posted this on Twitter.
Yet again, the National Football League has decided to desecrate the sacred American sport of football, a sport that has united Americans for decades by playing the divisive Negro national anthem before the game. Now look, I certainly have no problem with there being a Black American national anthem, but there's a time and place for everything, and the Super Bowl is not the time nor the place. We don't play the Asian American national anthem, the Muslim American national anthem, the Indian American national anthem, the Native American national anthem. What has caused us to play favorites with certain Americans over every other race during the Super Bowl? What is it? The point is, the moment you start playing favorites, you inevitably exclude everyone else, everyone. And you start controversy, which we don't need in sports. It's a place for us to heal and unite, not to divide. This is why we shouldn't play favorites at all. It's why we should sing only the United States national anthem, an anthem made for all Americans that includes everybody, regardless of race, color, or creed, because that is what people don't seem to understand. Yes, America has had a marred past with racial injustice, just as every other country has. But our national anthem has always stood for one thing and one thing only. Not white Americans, not Black Americans, but Americans. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, the national anthem is your anthem. And when that beautiful song is sung, it is sung for every American, everywhere. I'm Armstrong Williams, live from Super Bowl 59.
First, Armstrong, that was some bullshit that also was filled with lies. First of all, ain't no Asian national anthem. Ain't no Latino national anthem. Ain't no Muslim national anthem. So how in the hell can you go, we're not playing these other national anthems? Because they don't exist. So you're whining about lift every voice and sing being sung at the Super Bowl. This year, y'all, Lettucey led the singing of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Here's some of it.
Performed by 500 school children in 1900. We welcome 125 youth choir members from the Greater New Orleans High School Chorale Collective, directed by Dr. Jeffrey Redding and Jessica Harvey. Please welcome Grammy Award-winning vocalist and New Orleans native, Lettucey.
Okay, so Lettucey in that choir, singing, lift every voice and sing the Negro National Anthem. And for the people who have no clue, who have no understanding, who know nothing about history, Lift Every Voice and Sing was not penned by James Weldon Johnson as the Negro National Anthem. No, it's a hymn. It's a Christian hymn. The song was first sung publicly at a celebration of the birth of former President Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, that was the first time. It wasn't until some 30 years later that the NAACP called it the Negro National Anthem because it spoke to the fight against racism by black people. So the author of the song, of the Christian hymn, never called it the Negro National Anthem. That was it being coined by the NAACP. And so all these people, all these right wingers, why are they singing, the Negro National Anthem? Why are they, I don't understand why this is just wrong. It's not right. It's just showing we're not unified. And all this little whining and complaining. And among these idiots who love running their mouth is that dumbass who's in Trump's ear, Charlie Kirk, the one who wants to get rid of the Civil Rights Act and MLK holiday. Go to my iPad. So he tweeted this: only our actual national anthem should be performed at the Super Bowl. And my boy Ben Watson, the former NFL player, Super Bowl winner, he goes, why so much hate for America the Beautiful? I think it's a beautiful song about our country. Oh, I'm sorry. Were y'all aware that there was another song sung and performed? Yeah. Cue it up. Trombone Shorty of New Orleans and Laura Daigle. Guess what? They actually performed another song, America the Beautiful, which has happened multiple times in previous Super Bowls. Roll it.
Skies and the waves of mountain majesty.
Wow! Oh my God! It's another song. What shall we do? The world is ending. We literally did a second song, not the Star Spangled Banner, not the national anthem. We did America the Beautiful. So, that's it. That's sacrilegious. There's no song that should be sung other than the Star Spangled Banner. And then they complain about that. Oh my God, I didn't like this. John Baptiste, New Orleans, Grammy Award winner, amazing artist. He did the national anthem. Go.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam? And bright stars through the perilous fight.
Oh my goodness! There was also some booing when they showed that idiot. So, oh my goodness, what do we do? Here we go. It's. I don't understand. What did Armstrong say? Oh my God, that song, that beautiful song. That song that speaks for all of us. The song that represents all of us. This was a piece that was published in the Washington Post 5 months ago. The ugly reason the Star Spangled Banner didn't become our national anthem for a century. Oh my goodness, what did I just say? Yeah, y'all, when the Star Spangled Banner was written, it did not become the nation's anthem until a century later. I don't understand. I mean, this song was written in September of 1814. Francis Scott Key in Baltimore wrote this song, and he as you see right here, he overheard plans for a surprise attack on Baltimore. He witnessed this, and so he was then moved to write this song. And, oh, I'm sorry, who was Francis Scott Key? Francis Scott Key was a slaveholder, like many of the founding fathers. Francis Scott Key also was an anti-abolitionist. He did not want to see people of African descent to be free. So he penned the Star-Spangled Banner. And, you know, we sing it. The problem is we don't sing the full song. And we don't sing the full song because that third stanza is problematic. Because the third stanza talks about slaves and the British. Please show it. So the third stanza, and where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country should leave us no more. Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of fight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land and of the free and the home and the brave. He writes about those slaves. Go to my iPad. These lyrics are a clear reference to the colonial Marines, according to Jefferson Morley, author of Snowstorm in August, Washington City, Francis Scott Key, and the Forgotten Race Riot of 1835. Quote, they are clearly meant to scorn and threaten the African Americans who took the British up on their offer, he wrote in a recent essay for the Washington Post. Key surely knew about the colonial Marines, and it's even possible he saw them among the contingent of British ships that sailed into the Baltimore harbor. Because you see, there were people who were enslaved people of African descent, who the British said, if you fight for us, we win, we will give you your freedom. And black folk, they say, oh, we will take up arms and we're not trying to be enslaved. And so Francis Scott Key was not happy to see them fighting for the British. The other reason it was dropped because in World War I and II, the British became our allies. And so therefore, they did not want that to be seen as a point of contention. That's the history of the Star-Spangled Banner. So Armstrong, you're full of shit by saying, oh my God, it's a song that brings us together and all. You're wrong. The actual song doesn't. The actual song was written by a slaveholder. The actual songwriter, see again, I'm juxtaposing two different songs. James Weldon Johnson writes a Christian hymn. Slaveholder Francis Scott Key writes a song that praises the slaveholders, that praises them in their fight for the British, and degrades the enslaved people of African descent for fighting with the Brits. So actually, Armstrong, if I am to compare two songs that really represent America, represents Americans, that represents unity, then I probably will say, if I am comparing the history of these two songs, the songwriters of these two songs, then I probably will say that Lift Every Voice and Sing is much higher and more representative of unity of the people of this country. So maybe, Armstrong, instead of bitching about the song and fanning the flames of your right-wing conservative followers, maybe what you should do is show them this video. Maybe what you should do is offer them some education. Maybe what you should do is teach them what real American history. But maybe the problem is because MAGA and the right wing desperately wants to remove certain books out of classrooms. MAGA and the right wing and the Republicans don't want their white kids and their followers to be taught all of these proper and correct things about American history. Maybe because what they want them to do is they want them to maintain a level of ignorance, so they walk around thinking that this song is all about unity and we're together, when in fact that is not what the Star Spangled Banner was about. Because I also thought that you conservatives, when it came to the Constitution, were original constructionists, that you were originalists, that you wanted to really study and you believed in the original intent of the framers' words, not how they were interpreted, but the original intent. So therefore, Armstrong and all of you MAGA, right-wing, conservative, Republicans, ideologues, if I choose to be a constructionalist and an originalist when it comes to the text, then if I study the Star Spangled Banner, I see how deeply rooted it is in slavery and evil. But if I study the Christian hymn of James Weldon Johnson, what I will see is a song that was written from a place of Christian unity. So forgive me if y'all are so bothered and sensitive to the song Lift Every Voice and Sing, also known as the Negro National Anthem, being sung at the Super Bowl, and in the words of Della Reese from Harlem Nights, kiss my entire ass. We'll close it out with my panel. Congo, you first.
You know, when you compare the lyrics of both of these songs, it's clear that Lift Every Voice and Sing, it could actually be America's anthem. There's no mention of race in any way, shape, or form. It's talking about a journey in this country. Everybody has a different journey to get where they need to be. And then when you compare it to what you talked about with Keith and the Star Spangled Banner, but the Star Spangled Banner, it really shows America's inherent contradiction, right? Even though it's talking about freedom, and a song like that is written by a slave owner, right? And that's contradicts so many other things. But when you take it back to the Super Bowl, they were so mad at everything. I saw people online, it's like, oh, I thought you all believed in DEI. How come all of the dancers were black during the halftime show? Like, they were just picking every single thing, from the quarterbacks to the black woman performance coach who won. They could not help. And of course, they had problems with black singers of the Star Spangled Banner, as well as Lift Every Voice and Sing, of course. So this is what they're going to do. They have nothing to say about Trump doing a military salute during that, which made no sense whatsoever. So they're going to keep pushing to make sure that we're not represented in any way, shape, or form. And the fact of the matter is, for an event like that, they also noticed, we remember, Roland, they removed end racism from both sides of the field as well. So they were trying to do something, but by representing us with the Black National Anthem, that was powerful. Lettucey killed it. Having the high school students there, the representation was real. And this is just an example of how, in the face of all of the ignorance and hate and disrespect, as they continue to come for us in our culture, we got to continue to shine bright on every stage. And that's what we did yesterday.
Well, it's quite hilarious to me, Tommy, when they are going on again and on and on and on. It wasn't until 1931 that the Star Spangled Banner became the national anthem. In fact, go to my iPad, this is the Washington Post piece. Although the Star Spangled Banner and all of its verses were immediately famous, Key's overt racism prevented it from becoming the national anthem while he was alive, Morley wrote. There was no official anthem, and many people chose to sing other songs like My Country 'Tis of Thee. Key's anthem gained popularity over time, particularly among post-Reconstruction white Southerners and the military in the early 20th century. All but the first verse were cut, not for their racism, but for their anti-British bent. The United Kingdom was by then an ally.
Yeah, Roland. Well, that's what happens when you buy the 45 instead of the 12-inch. But listen, seriously though, with all due, in all fairness to Armstrong Williams, they could have had somebody sing "Sweet Caroline" for the white people, and they didn't, and that was hurtful. But I was watching that Super Bowl last night, and I was looking at Twitter, and as my daughter would say, the white people were pressed, and I was watching, especially the halftime show, and about a minute in, I noticed there was not a single white performer on stage, anywhere to be seen through that whole halftime show. But I noticed that because it made me think of how far we've come. That when I was coming up, there was a Public Enemy song where they bragged about Doug Williams and getting to have a black quarterback, and look where we are now. If anything, we have come a long way, but we also haven't. The more you think that something's changed, the more somebody comes around like Charlie Kirk or Armstrong Williams to remind you that no, there's always going to be a backlash or a white lash, as they say.
Well, again, I just think it's hilarious, Julian, that all they do is sit here and whine and complain and do all of these things when the history is very clear, but their desire is to whitewash the history because they don't want Americans to know the true history.
Well, this movement, this anti-DEI movement, this anti-blackness, it's about erasure. They want to make sure that people don't know what our contributions are. And so it's really important that we continue to put them out there, as Alma Congo said, to put them out there and to have us shine in every way. I just, getting rid of the end racism sign is a step backward, but singing the Negro National Anthem, one of my favorite songs in the world, is a leap forward. And frankly, white America, y'all need to learn it too. And as it could be our national anthem. We end, the last verse of Lift Every Voice ends with "True to our God, true to our native land." How can you argue about that? There's nothing whatsoever to argue about. So what we're really looking at is a bunch of folks who are just stewing in their misery. Just sit back, enjoy the game, and shut up. And just shut up. And Armstrong, please, that little whatever he put out there, we all know Armstrong. We all like Armstrong. He's a good guy at some level. But at some level, he sings off a hymn book of nonsense. As you said earlier, Roland, when you started talking about this, there's no Asian American anthem or any other anthem. And the reason why the Negro National Anthem is so important is because of the marginalization of Black people. That song has taken us through so much. We have come over the ways where the tears have been watered. We have come walking ahead through the blood of the slaughtered. I mean, come on. That really does speak to not only our experience in these United States, the experience of many others. These people are, they're children. They're whiners, and they could, like I said, sit back, enjoy the game, enjoy the music, enjoy the song, and go to work tomorrow if you still have a job, because if you work for the federal government with the orange man inside, you might not. So enjoy and embrace the Super Bowl for what it is. It's a national diversion. Enjoy it. I don't understand the pettiness. I don't understand the smallness. But what I do understand is that it's resistance. And that song is about resistance. It is absolutely about resistance. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next 4 years while we have, a sociopath and an oligarch in the house that enslaved people built, the descendants of enslaved people. When we sing it together in our I mean, some of us after third verse, we lift our fists, and that's what I'm doing now.
Well, and just in case people don't understand, James Weldon Johnson wrote Lift Every Voice and Sing to honor Booker T. Washington. In 1917, the NAACP often began to refer it as the Negro National Anthem, and that was 14 years before Congress actually made it the national anthem. So for Armstrong and the right wing and all of you, it was called the Negro National Anthem before there ever was a national anthem. So again, y'all are following black people.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $8.6 million from everyday investors who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.